Panther what it do, what it did, what he threw, or is he through? Bars. Syncopated a little bit, but bars nevertheless. We're doing a car vid today. I'm really working on what is going to be the new set for the new channel. By the way, it's going to be the same channel. Just really going to change the handle and change the graphics to fit the new name and everything. I think it's really going to be something that everybody's going to love. It's going to be Panther content, like you've never really seen it before. So please get in the comments, like and subscribe, man, because I'm about to try to make this a premiere. But yeah, I'm just out doing some sparking. Some light work I can do while I'm on medical leave from my other job. With this I'm not supposed to lift with my right hand, so of course I'm not. But with this I can lift with my left hand and keep it moving and still make a buck from before the fam. And of course make some money to get this work done for all of these channels I have. Hope y'all subscribe to every last one of them, please. But yeah. I want to talk to you guys today about what is going on with this first pick situation. A lot of people suggest that, and if I repeat anything that I've said in the last videos, forgive me, but I just really want to drive some things home. A lot of people have said that, what is it? Oh yeah. You don't move up to number 1 to draft an AR-15. For these particular people that say this, not only have they not been watching the sequence of events, thank you so much. Not only have they not been watching, but yeah, people, I do not have my, what's the thing called? My, what's the thing called? My, what do I? No, I do not. My car mount in here. So, I'm gonna try to keep everything stationary, things of that nature, to where you guys can see me, be seen, or at least heard. You guys, you might have to just listen to the commentary until I get to where I'm going, and I'm more confident about holding the camera. But yeah, so number 1, that is so disrespectful to AR-15. Let's start there. So that totally discounts his abilities. Number 2, these people, I don't think that they have really unpacked or paid attention to. They don't pay attention to the sequence of events that have occurred. Like, for instance, I'm telling people, it's amazing. You gotta think about the aspect that everyone was fine at number 9. I keep telling people this. We were fine, and remember, we were fine at number 9 until the combine. Because remember, we were making, the first deals we made, it wasn't trading up to number 9. The first deals we made were re-signing what's that dude's name? Bozeman. And all these other things. Those were our first deals. These are the deals that we made running up to combine. In other words, moving up to number 1 was not the top priority. And then the combine actually happens. Our mentality is, hey, we're in a good spot. We'll get our guy at 9. We're okay. And then here comes quarterback day. And AR-15 turns the combine into the AR bind and just totally kills it. Has a 40 time faster than most of the wide receivers. Vertical, off the charts. Long jump, off the charts. 60, 70-yard throws, off the charts. So, AR took that day to do everything that he could do to drive his stock up. And it's mighty funny that the very next week, we go up to number 1. Not only did we move up to number 1, we moved all heaven and earth, as well as DJ Moore, our number 1 wide receiver, to be at number 1. Now, I want you to think about something. If you got a guy, you're totally fine with getting, if he
use
falls
the
to
left
you
2 lanes to turn left onto
at
Falls of
9.
Noose Road.
But for some crazy reason, he does something and his draft stock skyrockets. You say, we are in danger of getting one of these top projected guys. And I say that word, top projected guys, with quotation marks for a reason. I'll show you in a minute why I'm saying that like that. So yeah, they find themselves in danger of maybe not getting one of these top drafted guys. So we move all heaven and earth and DJ Moore to be the number 1 so that we can acquire one of these guys. Well, I moved on to you this note. If he was the motivator that moved them to move up to 1 in the most drastic fashion that they did, even giving up DJ Moore, it's very small-minded of one to think that he can't be the pick at 1. If you didn't follow me on that, let me repeat it. If he was the motivation behind them being panicked enough to not only trade up, but to even trade away our number 1 receiver, to get that pick. Your eyes are kind of blind you're kind of looking out of one eye if you think that he himself can't be the pick. And there is so much you can pick and peel away at that to further investigate, right? Watch this. Why do you get rid of your number one receiver, your X, to move to number one to get your quarterback? Why do you do this? When you know that your number one receiver is your primary weapon that can literally have this guy placing you in a Super Bowl. Watch this. Their mentality is, let him go ahead with a team that has that guy already and be the greatest that he can be for that particular team. We're not planning on winning the Super Bowl this year. This is going to be a work in progress, a short work in progress. But this is going to be a work in progress, and we're fine with getting another receiver for this new guy. Because it's going to take us might take us a season or two. Watch this. To make him and mold him into what we want him to be. Sounds like a bit of a project of sorts, right? Think about it. Do you want your number one receiver that's been there waiting in the wings to really, really be great for you? Do you want him trying to catch passes from what might be considered a project guy of sorts, as people have casted about AR-15? All right, people, I am back. Still another delivery, so bear with me. We're just doing audio right now. It's good for podcasting, though. So, all right. So yeah, those are the reasons why not only you move up to number one, but also why that could be the guy at number one. And I'll revisit something that I know I said in the past situation. Just in case we have any new viewers. If you have a guy like AR-15 who is that more athletic quarterback that we once had in a Cam Newton, that the league is now trending toward. Number one, his less collegiate experience is a plus, meaning that it's less collegiate experience that has to be deprogrammed, number one. Number two, if you have the brass in the room that has that quarterback expertise, such as ours, they may have every confidence in themselves that they can make him into the quarterback that he needs to be. I gotta take another call, people. Give me a second. If you have the offensive minds that we have, and you have a more athletic quarterback that we used to have in a Cam Newton, now that the rest of the league now is trending towards, they may have every confidence in themselves that whatever other tangibles he needs, they can equip him with. Which is why TD may be right. Which is why they would tell, his people to go ahead and look at some condos, as Sheena Quick has suggested. And let me be real. Let me be real. Let me be real. If this is true, there's one particular member of a particular podcast. He gonna have to eat some crow. He gonna have to eat some crow. He gonna have to eat some crow. Love him to death because he's my Aggie brethren. You know, Sigma uncle. He gonna have to eat some crow. Anyway, let's move on to something else though. Got some smoke. Slight smoke, but a smoke nonetheless. And the smoke is for everybody that believes the media hype as it concerns who the top 2 projected picks for these quarterbacks are. As Flavor told you, don't believe the hype. And you have every reason not to believe the hype. So why would you? Don't believe it. And I'll give you further reasons why you should not believe the hype. What hype am I talking about particularly? Everybody thinks the top 2 guys are Stroud and Young. And we had a certain president, and when he was running for office, something became famous. And that particular thing that became famous is what's called alternative facts. Alternative facts. Now, I will also say this. I feel like, and it was crazy, because he's the same dude, pretty much single-handedly just drowned the USFL, and then the NFL wants to really listen to what he has to say about a player kneeling. Like, is this really happening? Is this really happening in real time? They really are giving a crap about what this dude thinks, who thought at one point in time that his league could compete with the NFL, and because of which it just totally pretty much bankrupted them. They're listening to that guy? Okay, whatever. But moving right along, I really feel like media started playing into the hands of what the entity is called alternative facts. And what's wrong with that is people really start believing the hype. And unfortunately, sports media is no different, because they started to play into the hype of things as well. People, we're in that particular situation right now with the top 2 projected quarterbacks. All right, folks, so I'm back. So yeah, so let me explain the hype. First of all, CJ Stroud. Why do everybody think that CJ Stroud is the top guy? Well, because he is. Because he is. There's no hype about that. There's no hype about that. The only thing that I really don't like about Stroud is that he doesn't have a mustache. And I can't really trust a guy without a mustache. I'm sorry. I just can't really take him seriously. You know. But then again, Cam didn't have a mustache at first. You know, he just had a little goatee situation. So, you know, maybe he'll grow into it, or, you know, something. I don't know. He looked like a real light-skinned DJ Quick, though. You know what I'm saying? He do. He looked like a real light-skinned DJ Quick. That I can get down with, because, you know what I'm saying, like, what? Born and raised in Compton. You know what I'm saying? That was my joint. Anyway, no copyright infringement. But yeah, so Stroud, I mean, hey, I can't make one valid complaint about that guy, because he's that guy. He's him. You know what I mean? Now, Young, oh, that's cap. That's cap, and I'm going to show you why it's cap. You have a smaller size quarterback. That's not only smaller sized, but he's smaller sized in every way possible. Height as well as weight. Not only that, I guess he drinks some juice for a couple of weeks and goes up to 204 and weighs in at the combine. But you're not throwing at the combine? And then on top of that, you have a stinky pro day in which not only do some of your receivers miss balls that were supposed to be caught, but you overthrew a few too. Now, logically, any other time, if a quarterback had done stuff like this, left a clear measurable on the table by avoiding pro day, not throwing to other receivers that he's not used to. The combine rather. Pretty much stinks up his pro day and has mismeasurables at height and weight. That dude's stock usually is going to go down. Why is that not a headline? I usually would be. I don't understand why it isn't. Now, I will tell you what is cap about both of these guys. And that's going to bring me back around to the number one pick spot. I will tell you what is cap about both of these guys. What's kept about both of these guys is everybody wants to talk about their performance against Georgia. Not noticing the fact that Stenham Bennett beat them both in his route to his second back-to-back natty. Stidham can't get no love. Stidham can't get no love for some reason. Probably people say, oh, well, because he's too old. Too old for what? Too old for what? Maybe too old for college, but he's going into the pros. And because there has been a Tom Brady, you really have to look like, you really have to say that, he could be good for another 20 or so years. So he's old for college, but he's greatly aged for the NFL. Because he's not 31, 32, 33. He's 27. Dude's 27. So, I mean, again, everybody wants to look at these guys' performances against Georgia, but they're not looking at the fact that Georgia beat them both. That's crazy to me. And again, if this were any other quarterback, I don't know whether it's the fact that he an Alabama baller or what. If there's any other quarterback, that stock goes down because of his measurables. The measurables that he left on the table did not perform in, and the fact that he stunk up his pro day. And what's crazy to me, what's really a head scratcher is, it was also said that people think these pro days are all about the throwing session. It's really a lot. It gives people a chance to talk with these players, to spend time with these players. Learn who they are. Really. So if that be the case, why not just invite them to your stadium for dinner or lunch? If the throwing session is not as important, why are we having the throwing session? Like, people are steady moving the goalposts with this guy. I really don't understand why. Oh, and now the big kicker is this. Now all of a sudden, him majoring in psychology is actually a measurable as to why he should be the #1 overall pick. I just died on how. I'm not gonna say that. Bruh, come on. And because of that, you know what? I wouldn't be happy, but I would not be surprised if he was the pick. Why? Because precedent have shown that that's the type of shit that David Tepper likes. He likes that 1% shit. He thinks because he's the 1% of people, that came up, in a broken home, picked himself up by the bootstraps and became a billionaire and now owns an NFL team. What was the next thing he did? Got a guy that had barely coached a year in the NFL, never called a play in the NFL, never played in the NFL, and is noted as walk-on practice fodder in college. Hired him to be a head coach as if he was going to take this team to the Super Bowl. And a lot of y'all were believing that hype too. And now, folks, this week's episode of Matt Rule Fans Be Like. Steve, he'd be so proud of Doug. He's doing so well. In the morning, he has a newspaper wrap. And after that, he delivers pizzas for us. Pizza! Leave it in the comments if y'all feeling that segment or not. I think it's funny as all get out myself. I really do. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that he does. So if Bryce Young is the pick, I know exactly who in the front office is getting their way. And people are having a problem with Nicole Tepper being in all these arrangements. Y'all a bunch of sexist ass pigs. You know, understand this. This guy let his GM get rid of an MVP quarterback. She cried about it. Now, she's in on every conversation. Do you know what that tells me? That tells me that she probably got a better football mind than he do. That tells me that she probably pounding the pavement, pounding the table, and said, no. So if this is a situation that needs a woman's touch, by God, so be it. I feel like Nicole is in the room to make sure that we don't do anything too stupid. Y'all remember that quote? Y'all remember that quote? That was made at the 2019 draft, and we've been doing stupid shit ever since. The best thing in the world that he could have done was hire Scott Fitt. And the best thing that Scott Fitt could have done was pull his coattail to Matt Rule last draft. And you know he did it. I keep saying it over and over again. You know why I know he did it? Because that's exactly what I would do. And if you're trying to grow as a GM or and want to be promoted one day to an operations manager or president of a team, you're going to do the same thing as well. Hey, listen, listen, let me tell you something. I know you got this guy having full reins, and I'm GM in name only, but listen, I cannot let my reputation suffer and go down as his scapegoat. I want my full duties. And guess what? Guess what Tepper cannot tell him? Tepper cannot tell him no. Because if he says no, then guess what Scott says? Okay, I'm walking. Then you got national headlines. GM Scott Fitterer quits. And you know what's going to happen? Everybody else that's trying to be a GM, they're going to be calling Scott Fitt. Hey, Scott, what's the deal with that Carolina gig? Why'd you walk away, bro? What you know what I'm saying? I was going to apply for it, but I'm trying to get the 4-1, before I follow through. Because I ain't trying to, I ain't trying to walk in no BS. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, he want that guy to have full. All right, yeah, all right. Thank you for telling me, man. Thank you so much for the information. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, man. Thank you so much, bro. And then, what you're left with? You're left with either David being the GM himself or Matt Rule being the GM. If Bryce is the pick, that's definitely a Tepper pick. Excuse me, let me clarify. Definitely a David Tepper pick. And oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I really have to find, and if y'all find it before me, leave it in the comments to what the timestamp is. When they interviewed this guy, and he talked about not really seeing where he's throwing to. Not really seeing where he's throwing to. I'm not a quarterback. But I doubt that Frank Reich, McCowan, and I cannot call this offensive coordinator's guy's name to save my life. He's just not memorable to me for some reason. But they are quarterbacks. I'm not quite sure if they go with the mentality of throwing to where you can't see. If you were a quarterback at one point in time, leave in the comments how you feel about throwing to where you can't see. And the fact that people would be so mesmerized with this, oh my God, he's a Jedi. This is the NFL, where you can't see. There's a Jalen Ramsey or an Eli Apple or a Honey Badger or some type of other notable corner or free safety or even linebacker for that matter that can see where you're throwing to, that is eyeing you, and that's going to pick that mess off like a hawk picking out a trout out of a string. But again, that's that type of scientific stuff that David Tepper likes. Remember that time? Remember when he first hired Matt Rule? This guy believes in football science. Y'all don't remember that, do you? Y'all remember football science? It sounded good. It sounded smart. But what was it really? So yeah, man, you know, don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. Don't believe it. Because if you really want to keep it a buck, you really want to keep it a buck, AR-15, Will Levis, and even Hendon Hooker, are probably in front of Bryce Young. Why? Because the only thing, and Hendon might be just in front of him or just behind him because of the injury. But he didn't just choose not to throw. He didn't just choose not to throw. And I would argue that he might be in front of him. Why? Tennessee's another SEC team. That boy can ball. Not only will he be in the room with all of these great quarterbacking minds, if he would be a possible pick for us, but he's been in the presence of a great quarterback mind all of his life with his dad, Al Hooker, who is a fellow Aggie alum of mine from the North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, not to be confused with AT&T. It's A&T, baby. It's A&T, not NCAT, because we got too much dog for us to be associated with anything with a cat. As far as AT&T is concerned, well, guess what? We were before them, and we send them a whole bunch of engineers. Look it up on LinkedIn. So we the power that gives them the power to give you the power. Don't get a twist. This is a Panther. This is Panther content. But I'm always repping this all day long, baby. What? And get prayed. Don't get it twisted. Don't you never get it twisted. It's one Carolina, baby. Talking about. But anyway, just a few reasons why I say you shouldn't believe the hype. Let me just do a quick summary. If we were fine with 9 before the combine, and AR-15 turned the combine into AR-9, he could be the motivation for us to move up. And if we do move up, it's very slight-minded of one to think that he could not be the pick at 1. Again, with everything he doesn't have, that's less for them to deprogram. With his physical nature and his athleticism, what we once had in Cam, and the league is now moving back to, with their expertise, they may feel like they could get him to where they want him to be. Not to mention, he just may be a project of sorts. So they feel it's advantageous for them, as well as DJ Moore, to put him with a quarterback that's less of a project. Let him go ahead, do his thing, be great. They realize he may be a project of sorts. It may be a while for him to get his wings up under him. We don't want DJ stifling up his career any more than he has to wait for this. Let him go somewhere and be great. So if he is the pick, hey, you know, those are the reasons why. If CJ Stroud is the pick, everybody should be happy. Everybody should be ecstatic. Bryce Young should be nowhere near the top pick. And if he is, that's some David Tepper shit. He should not even be projected in the top 2 because he left measurables on the table. And yet having a size deficiency in the height and the weight category, you're going to leave a measurable on the table. That might have been some type of psychological thing where he may have been fine to dropping to 9 where we were. I guess he didn't, in all of his psychological wisdom, I guess he didn't have the foresight to see us jumping up to 1 because we do have the better offensive line. So he may drop to a team that has him shivering in his boots because they don't have the line to protect him. So yeah, don't believe the hype about him being the projected number 2 or in the top 2. That's what the media is saying. That's what the sports media is saying. That's probably not the case in the rooms of the NFL because they look at more than that. And no, you being a psychology major is not a measurable for you being a top tier choice for the number 1 draft pick overall. It is not. It is not. It is not. And you thinking that message you be doing that's throwing the ball to where you can't see is going to work in this league, stop the cap right now. Like, and that has been this edition of what will soon be formerly the Panthers Den. This is your boy Nick Hedden, representing One Carolina all day, every hot darn day. You know what I'm saying? Saying Aggie Pride, go Heels, keep pounding, peace, and God bless.